I shall welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Man, so Priscilla, the Queenmaker. So lately, she's been saying some real deal Holyfield things, and I heard her on Willie D's podcast, and then for the most part, she was on point, and I wanted to get into it. So I think that it's very, very interesting when women have a whole different kind of perspective when they start dating women, and then they see the things that men have been talking about for years about what they have to deal with. All right, let's get into it.
Dismissive or insensitive, but I need to know, and I say this from the depths of my soul, who hurt you?
Well, when you live life, everybody gonna get hurt in this life. It ain't about if you get hurt though. It's about do you heal and do you learn from your lessons. So just living life, ain't nobody hurt me to the point where I can't bounce back, but I learned a lot. So just everyday stuff in the world, just dealing with humans. Humans hurt everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
True. But somebody hurt you specifically because you are hard on men. Like, am I right to assess that you have a particular disdain for men?
No, because if you ask the women think I'm hard on them. I'm actually harder on women than I am on men. But see, all y'all see is what I say about men. So what I figured out is that y'all know y'all nature. Come on. Y'all actually depend on women to pretty y'all up. So when a woman don't pretty the man up and just call it like it is, I've been around men for over 25 years. So I know the game. So seeing y'all and being able to speak what you do, it comes off, oh, she hate men. But how can I hate men when growing up, most of my associates were male? But I've been in the military, 8 years in the military, male dominated. You don't think I see stuff with them? If I'm going to the studio, because I rap too, Willie. I've been in the studio, been around men. I played football, basketball, I ran track, rifle team. I think I know a little something about men. And then on top of that, yes. Oh, I sold cars 3.5 years, male-dominated industry. I've dated men, been friends with them, observed them in the work environment. I think I know a little bit about men.
Damn, this woman, she did everything. Yeah, and I was also shocked when I seen that at one time she actually was married to a man. But sometimes it definitely does happen like that. So one man would just, would just a lot of times, sometimes a man would just break a female heart so bad, and then she wind up going to the other side. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was about 19. Nah, I was about 17. Yeah, I was in high school still, and it was like this one cute chick that I met. She looked kind of like Maya, and yeah, so I met her. Me and her was talking, and I can tell she liked me, and I'm like 17, and then me and her hung out a few different times. We didn't do nothing, because yeah, I mean, I wasn't pressing the issue, and then like her sister wound up coming on to me on the phone, and then yeah, I'm 17, and so her sister, was trying to act like she wanted to get with me, so I actually wound up taking a bait, and then and then she told her sister, and the one I was talking to, and she was so upset at me, and I was like, damn, she got me, and and she's like, oh, I really liked you so much, and later on, I think when I ran into her, she wound up dating women. So it's like for a few years, she actually was like upset at me. So she'll be with a woman and want to give her a kiss and all that other stuff like that though. So I probably did, make her go to the other side. So but later on she would see me and we was cool. But that definitely does happen.
My last dealing with a man, it was two guys that just really sealed the deal for me. And one of them was supposed to be a friend of mine. And he tried to set me up for a large lump sum of money, right? Played the long game to try to position me to take some money from me. Well, after you get played, before you learn life, you got to take some L's first. And every L you take, it's a lesson in that. And so I started to notice a pattern dealing with men, putting it all together. I just came to a conclusion. Hey, this is who men are by nature. This is their game. That's what it is. So instead of me playing with fire and continuing to get burned, trying to make men seem like they're these figures that they're not, just deal with men as they are instead of what you want them to be. That's really what it is. But because
I say they go with anybody, a man or a woman. Just deal with a person based off of who they are. So yeah, so I say that they go both ways.
I'm not out there, oh, I need a man, oh, black kings, because I'm not saying that I must hate men. But if you ask the women, they think I'm far harder on them than I am on the men.
I mean, of course, the women are gonna say that because they're not used to nobody criticizing them, or correcting them, or correcting them at all. So of course, the women are gonna say that.
So these women that you speak of, these are queens, or are these just women, and you're going to make them a queen because you are the queen maker?
I'm the queen maker,
and
right?
You take these. So before they meet you, they are just pawns. They're merely pawns.
Correct. Right.
And you're going to make them out of a queen.
I'm gonna make them out of a queen
by decoding love, men, and manipulation.
Correct.
Now, when did you get on this journey of decoding love, men, and manipulation?
Okay, so before the manipulation thing came about and before the men thing came about, the love thing was dropped on me in 2016. And this was like a download. It just came out of the sky. And I was given this concept, and I call it the 5 components of love. Now, I wrote a book on this concept in 2018, and I published it in 2019. But this book had absolutely nothing to do with men. It really focused solely on the concept of love. 2 years after that, which was 2021, is when I came to the conclusion that men were incapable of love. And I based I based my assessment from the book that I wrote, the 5 components.
Yeah, I mean, because I totally do not agree with that though. So men love differently. So yeah, so I do not agree with that though. So okay, just because a man is not loving the way a woman love doesn't mean that men do not love, and that's one thing that a lot of women are messed up on. Stop wanting men to have emotions and act like women.
And constantly seeing the failures in not just my relationships, but all of the people around me, listening to people, I came to the conclusion that the reason that y'all having these problems is because you're dealing with people who are incapable of love. So women are trying to squeeze something out of men. It's like trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. And if you stop doing that, your life could probably be a little better. While I was on TikTok trying to sell my book, this is when I came up with the workshop, Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded, because I was trying to explain the concept of the 5 components of love and why I came to the conclusion that they were incapable. So I started mapping this out, and it turned into the workshop that I have. When it comes to manipulation, now, 2 of my associates throughout life were actual pimps, okay? One of the pimps I never met, but he would always tell me the game on men. The other one would do that too, but I knew this one in person. This was the one that tried to set me up for a boatload of money. But
Did y'all have a romantic relationship?
No, it wasn't like that. No, what he wanted to do a podcast with me. But he was trying to set me up to do all the work, but benefit from all of the work that I was doing. Okay. So with them, this is how I was introduced to like Pimpin' Ken's information and all of that stuff. So what I started doing was putting the dots together, because by the time he tried to run game on me, I'm like, man, do you think you my pimp or something? Right? So I found out the game. I was like, you know what? This is it. This is just the nature of men. This is just who they are. So women are constantly complaining and confused about why men are.
Hold on, let me stop right there. I mean, so you can't really just say that though, because a whole pimp mindset and like a regular man mindset is totally different. The pimp mindset is all about him getting status, him putting a woman to work and then him making her earn her way. So that's like, the whole mindset of the pimp. The regular guy, his mindset is about him just trying to go and bust a nut. So those are two totally different mindsets. And then if you also think about it too, pimps are the ones that they're like a master at just, it's just bringing the best out of a woman. And because the pimp sells the upgrade. Regular guys don't sell the upgrade. Regular guys just fall in love with a woman just because she's so beautiful. How will she go and put it down? So yeah, so those are two totally different things. But one thing that I want to address that most people don't think about though is a woman sees a man as either one or the other way. She either see him as either a man or a bitch, a pimp or a simp. So it's no in between.
They're having a relationships that they're having with men. So it's like this. Okay, if this is really a problem, men do tell you to choose better. And I'm totally agreeing with that. Women need to choose better. But to know better is to do better. You can't do better if you don't know better. So I decided to teach women better, breaking it down through what I have called the 41 Shades of Men. Once I give you the information on men and you totally see this from a neurological and biological and psychological perspective on the male's nature, now the onus is all on you. Because you can't change a man. You cannot make him become a cat. You can't make him become a woman. A man is who he is. So now, what hand do you have in it? And what I come to find out is after you finish talking about men, women hold 90% of the responsibility. So this is why even though I say what I say about men, women see that I have a harder fist on them because in my mind, most men are incapable of doing all of the stuff that women want them to do.
What do women want men to do?
The reality is women want men to be their personal slaves. Women want men to placate to this fantasy that they have in their mind. And women got a lot of fantasies. Women want men to be these aggressive vessels that have a woman's nature. This is what they want. It's like they want their cake and eat it too. So they are addicted to sex, but to justify their sexual addictions, since they can't stay away from it, they have to try to make the man become a version of a woman that they like sleeping with, right?
Man, so yeah, so I can see that though. So and this is the other thing that I also talk about though that people don't think about though. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of women are addicted to sex. Most women have never ever been turned down for sex before in their life. Most women, period. So if a person can just get sex just like that on the man, whether she's overweight, she's an idiot, she's ghetto, she's a hood rat, she still can get guys that want to have sex with her. So most women cannot handle when a man tell them no. I think about it even in my business, like how I meet a woman, and then and they're upset that I just want to train them and I don't want to sleep with them or deal with them anything outside of training. They can't handle that. So that's one thing that I have noticed.
So she has a movie in her head and she has roles that she has slots for. And there's a slot that she has for a romantic partner that only man can be cast as. So she's willing to cast any kind of man and put him in this role. And if he's going to play this role, he has to do every single thing that she wants him to do. Pay the bills, keep your sexual organs only to me. I'm going to trap your eyes. You can't see no other woman in the world. You focus on me and on me only. And you give me all your money, right? And if he don't do everything that she wants.
Basically, looking for a really good sucker, looking for a really good simp. And then that's the other thing, because when a woman has been with all of these different kind of men, so she got all these other fantasies, and yeah, so she used to having a guy, that he just tricking off to just give her money, because he want to have sex with her. She used to guys who just want to just take her out on dates and try to have sex with her. So she's used to that.
Want him to do, the relationship don't work. So what I've come to find out is men are narcissistic, but women are 1,000 times more narcissistic than men, because women want to be the center of the universe, right? So if you find out everything that you find out about men and you're still trying to approach them the way that you approach them, ultimately the problem lies on the woman, because the male follows her. The male is a reflection of the woman. So no matter what I say about men, it's all gonna circle back to what women want, and men are jumping to everything that women desire.
Hold on, let me stop right there. So yeah, so most guys are like that though. So most guys are led by their woman. Most guys are handpicked. Most guys are coochie whip. Yeah, most guys are. So yeah, and then really for the most part, a lot of women like it like that, because then they think, she can get more of what she want. But what women don't think about though is, okay, when you're dealing with the type of man that he's with and all the other stuff that he a simp, and then he can't handle when, let's say, if it comes down to you don't want to be with him no more, he can't handle that. And then that's when a lot of times those guys will go and harm you. They will harm you because they can't take nobody else be with you but of them. Or then yeah, so that happens a lot, but a lot of times women don't think about that. So it's best to have a man that he can deal with, okay, things don't work out and then he won't be bent out of shape. But if it's somebody that can't take that, man, they are capable of doing anything.
Right? That's the problem.
You said in a recent video that I saw, well, in a video that I saw recently, that you realize how hard it is for men to be men after you dated a woman. Expound on that.
Okay. So, like I just told you, I've been around males for 25 plus years. I'm a tomboy, ex-military, football, but I've never really had female friends. I grew up in a male-dominated. So I understand males a lot more than I understand women. However,
one thing I would say too, like, she would be like a cool friend, that I like to hang out with and then go and just meet women with and get prospects. And yeah, so I would say that, so but definitely I'm not into, the time war women sexually. I'm not into baggy jeans and that stuff though. I like dainty women. I like women that's feminine. I like dresses, fitted clothes, so that's what I like, so yes, that makes it even easier. When a woman in a time war, I just don't see her sexually.
I've been through the same things that women are complaining about with males. So when I first started my journey helping women, I thought that a lot of women thought like me. But I come to find out they don't. So my third girlfriend, because it wasn't the first two girlfriends I had, it was the third girlfriend that really made me see. And it wasn't just her. It was the responses that I got from breaking up with her from a lot of women. And I realized that she was the one that made me realize that women are totally entitled and lazy. It might appear that women are not lazy because they do the bulk of the housework and all this stuff. It might appear that they're not.
I mean that used to be the way, but actually they done surveys that nowadays it's not even like that. Nowadays the men are doing more of the housework. Like, even like now most women nowadays don't even know how to cook, or most women don't even cook, period.
Lazy. But the only reason that they're doing that is because they're trying to force men to see that they don't need any other woman. Like, women voluntarily take on all of the responsibilities so that she can say that my man don't need no other woman. So this is self-inflicted.
And also too, like how that kind of woman she wants, and this is the other thing you see too. For the most part, the other problem is that most women want a man that they can control, a man that they can run. So only a certain kind of man which she's gonna also break down this kind of man that that he lets a woman run him, and then also the kind of man that he worships a woman. A man ain't supposed to worship nobody but God.
She's not doing it because it's got to be done. She's doing it to control the man.
What I
So
just
when
said.
it comes to the modern, quote unquote, woman, the modern woman, I'm realizing that, wait a minute, you want me to stop? I'm trying to go to an interview and you're making me late. And I got to go to a gas station, brand new gas station. Why don't we go and take care of everything at one spot so we can just get on the road? You want me to stop before the gas station to take you to a special place to use the restroom. Now you talking to somebody. I done slept in the woods, having to dig foxholes, going to porta potties. I done drove trucks, being in the oil field, using porta potties out there, stopping at truck stops, taking showers. This is me. So for me to stop at a gas station to use the restroom, that's nothing. But for her, I don't
It was
use
beneath her.
It's beneath her. And if I was with a man, he would stop and take me to the restroom to use whatever restroom I wanted. And then all the women, see, it was the women. It was if it was just her I'm like, okay, bitch, you crazy. But for the collective of women that's watching this, and as I'm telling the story, it's a slew of women that was like, that's your girl. You're supposed to take her, and she's the queen. And I'm like, what is wrong? I said, is this really how y'all are in relationships? Is this what you expect from men in relationships? Because if this is what you expect from men in a relationship, you got me twisted as a woman because, ma'am, we're both women. And if you think that because you have a vagina that I'm supposed to treat you like a simp would treat you, you got me twisted, right? And I started to see that, a lot of women do think like this, like the world revolves around them. They use sex as a manipulative tool, but when you're in a lesbian setup, you don't have that power for sex over a woman that you would have over a man. So a lot of
1 second, let me stop it right there. And this is the other thing that I say that a lot of people don't think about though. If a man has sexual discipline, he takes away all the power that the woman has. So if a man is not controlled by his penis and he has sexual discipline and he's requiring her to bring other things to his life that can add value to his life, all her powers are gone. She doesn't have that leverage. But most guys don't have sexual discipline. Most guys can't turn down. And speaking of pimps, like you said earlier, that's really the main advantage that the pimp has over the other guy is he has sexual discipline because he has enough discipline to turn down a woman who has a purse full of money trying to have sex with him. So the real test is for him to turn that money down. Turn the sex down with her and get the money, which most guys can't do. So that's the main thing that the pimps have is they have more sexual discipline, and then they understand women better, and then they're a master at being able to bring the best out of a woman, or also too, they selling her a dream.
these women, they want women in a male body, but they like the perceived power that they can get by manipulating men with sex.
Is that why so many of these dudes today, these really soft, cricket landing plane dudes, they get a lot of these women, these women are having sex with these dudes and having babies, but they immediately, after they get the baby, they gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because nowadays, just having a kid, it's not. I mean, most of them, it's not that serious. It's just something to do, so you can get some regular money and get some attention. So
They're not staying with these dudes. They're procreating with them, but they're not staying with them. I do suspect that women at the end of the day, I think all women, I could be wrong. Well, I ain't gonna say all women, but most women. I think most women like a man's man. I think most women like men who are aggressive, not necessarily domineering, but aggressive, who are hunters, who are men's men. And I see a lot of these dudes today, they got money, but they got women type ways.
Yeah.
They got ways like women.
Yep, I see where he's going with it. So yeah, and then I would say this though. I would say that most women like those type of men, those alpha male dudes. They like them to have sex with, but I know that especially nowadays, a lot of women like to be in relationships with beta men because they can run them and they can be the one in control. And then like a man who's sexually weak, you can control him. But a man that has standards and he wants you to do other things besides just have sex with him, a lot of women want things to be easy. They don't want nobody that's just going to require them to do better and pull the best out of her. Most women are, just like she said earlier, most women are lazy, so they're not going to give you your best. So you have to have the kind of skills and the kind of standards and the kind of charisma and knowledge to pull the best out of a woman. Yes, and then that's what a small selection of men can do.
Some of them even dress like women. They dance like women. Some of them talk like women. They look like women. So that underscores the point that you were making.
See, it's a weird dynamic with a woman, and this is why I understand why men can't figure out what women want. I totally understand why men are confused about what women want, because women actually play both sides of the fence on what they want. Women actually have a delusion in their mind. They really are delusional. So, women actually like aggression. They do. That is from a biological point of view of an alpha male. See, an alpha male and an alpha man are two different things.
Exactly.
Okay. So an alpha male, we're talking about on an animalistic level, okay, how he can dominate other males physically. When we start talking about a man, we're talking about somebody who has mental control. Women don't like alpha men. They like alpha males. And the reason why women don't...
I was just saying that, I think, so basically what I just said, so just the alpha male, he's the thug, the guy that he want to go and fight and do all that hood stuff or whatever. And yes, and then that's his way of showing his dominance versus the alpha man. And he has emotional control, he has sexual discipline, he knows how to express himself besides fighting. Yeah, so it's night and day.
Like alpha men is because alpha men have self-discipline. They have self-discipline and sexual control where they can't be easily manipulated by women. Women like weak men. Women like sexually weak men because the only power that a lot of women have over a man is sex. And if she can't...
What I just said, what I've been saying,
get you to fall for her sex, she's going to get mad. Women don't like to be rejected. They don't. So coming up against an alpha male alpha man who's not going to be easily manipulated or dominated, that woman's not going to really deal with him. She will go to a alpha male who is sexually domineering, right? Because she likes to get smutted out, but she want to deal with a simp to get her way because she wants somebody that's going to give him. But the alpha male is going to use her. He's going to drain her, but she's addicted to that thrill.
Yep. So basically that alpha male is gonna put her to work. He's gonna have standards. He's gonna make her better, but he's gonna make her earn whatever he give her.
Him, right? She'll deal with an alpha man too if she feels like he's taking care of her, but ultimately she ends up dealing with a pimp in that regard. Because pimps have self-control, a lot of them, right? Because that's the only way that you can run a pimp game and be a high-level pimp is if you have self-control. So she'll gravitate.
And also too, sweetie, Macs also have self-control too. Most people don't get into that though. So now let me give you out the whole breakdown about the Mac. That's what I also consider myself too. A Mac is a man that he's about status, and also getting results. That's a Mac. So most people don't know exactly what a Mac is. So they think a Mac is a pimp, and no, it's a difference. Max can go to a business deal, spit game, and get the best deal on this type of product or service. Max are all about status and getting results. So a Mac can spit game at a woman and get sex. A Mac can spit game and get the best deal on a car or anything. So Macs are about power and status.
Gravitate to that type of guy. She'll gravitate to a more feminized man just so she can manipulate him and get her way, and she'll cheat with an alpha male. So this is the reason why a lot of men cannot understand
what I just said
and what women want, because women don't know what they want. They gravitate to anything based on their emotions for the moment and their needs for that moment.
And speaking of that though, this is also another way that a woman could tell that, man, this guy is not a simp. If you don't pull money out your pocket to wine and dine her right away just because she's beautiful, she knows that, wow, this guy is a real man. This guy has some standards. This guy is not just whining and dining me just because I look good. So because women are used to guys just wanting to just do that. Just because she's pretty or he want to have sex with her, he's willing to wine and dine her or want to give her money, So yeah, so that's how she can tell right away that, wow, this guy, he hasn't gave me no money. It kind of reminds me of what a 50 Cent's ex is like. What's the name of Megan Good and what else? The other chick, Cuban Link, I think that's the name. Whatever. Both of them were saying that 50 Cent ain't never gave them a dime, but they both said that 50 Cent was their best boyfriend. So he would give them gifts, but he don't give them money. He says that these women are independent, they work, so I don't give women money. So that's the Mac move right there. So yeah, so this and it's some. So they had the highest respect for him, and he ain't never gave them a dime.
I know what women want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the few men in the world that know what women want.
What's that?
Everything.
It's the truth. They want it all, which is the reason why sales and marketing campaigns typically gravitate to promote that you can have it all. If you got to sell a marketing campaign, because marketing is based on what people respond to, it's really based on the human nature, responses by human natures and psychology. So they do a lot of psychological work to see what people will respond to. And what they found out is that women are greedy and they want to be the center of the universe. So we're going to market this to you to say that women can have it all. If you are about having it all, that shows how narcissistic you are. And there's no such thing as having it all, because you have to make compromises. You have to give up something to get something. You can't go left and right at the same time. So to market to somebody that they can have it all also tells them you can have your cake and eat it too. And women are doing everything in their power to find out how they can have their cake and eat it too. And so what I tell women, I say, you really want a woman in a man's body. So to be honest, since that's what you're looking for, what you need to do is just get you a trans man. But that's too much like right, ain't it? I mean, it's the truth though.
Yeah. What does a traditional family nucleus reimagined look like to you?
Okay. So if we want a functioning society, the truth about it is it takes a village to raise a child. And why does it take the village? Which means that you need an extended family unit, not a nuclear family unit. Because, see, a nuclear family unit creates a really dangerous dynamic for everybody, including the children, right? Extended family, you have the uncles, grandmothers, aunts, all of that really connected, which creates the village. Because after a certain age, the child begins to stop listening to the parents. They might take advice from other people, aunts, friends, and everything, but they won't listen to you. This is a natural rebellion process in child development, right? We understand that really the honest thing is the safest way and the most productive way for a man is to be working outside of the house, even if he's gone for extended periods of time, whether it be through the military, deployment, or truck driving. The male should be outside of the house because it's more conducive to his nature. But if there's a nuclear family set up, what ends up happening? If he's gone, the children are all on top of the mother, right, with no other line of support for her. So this runs her down because humans, we only have enough energy to expend. Well, if you leave a boy with a mother, there's a whole host of issues that can result from that male not being under a natural male dominance hierarchy, by him being disconnected from that. And by him being too connected to his mother can cause another whole host of problems psychologically for the male that will impede his development on the outside. How do you fix this problem? As opposed to sending them off, giving the mother a break by sending them to a public school or something, how do you combat that? Extended family and community support. Well, the problem is we live in an individualistic society now where everybody is an individual. You don't say nothing to my child, that's my son. You don't say nothing. Well, guess what? When we were growing up, on the whole block, everybody knew everybody. It was like we was family with our next door neighbors. So if one goes out, Sarah know what you're doing, Miss Jane know what you're doing, and everybody's got their eyes on you. So you can't hide and get away with nothing because they gonna call your mom and everybody's going to hold you accountable. With individuals now disconnected from each other, people just look, that ain't my child, and they turn their back. So when the child leaves the house, they know that they got free reign to do whatever they want because nobody in the community is gonna hold them accountable. Right? So if we're going to have a fixed society, we have to bring back the extended family and we have to bring back community support, which means that we have to get back into grassroots work, grassroots politics. We have to get back into community schooling. Like, we too far gone as humans to even go back to what actually works. But nuclear family was never it. Nuclear family is part of the reason why all of the problems existed, because even during the World War, when the men had to leave, right? When the men left and went to the World War, all the women had to take all of these jobs. Well, when they came back, the men didn't really have a role. So what ended up happening, because prior to father, their identity being branded as being a father, they were actually being branded to be soldiers to go die in the wars. Once they came back injured, we needed to find something that we could do for the males, because they came back from the war and there's nothing for them to do. So let's make them American dads now. Well, now this is a problem because now there is a psychological issue with the man where he doesn't know what he brings to the table. And now the woman is in there doing all of these duties. Now he feels inferior. Like, this is a whole lot of issues. But on top of that, they birthed a whole lot of children that nobody knew how to develop and raise, because most humans are not studying child development. They're not studying human psychology. So they're just trying things. And, well, I didn't like how this felt when I grew up, so I'm going to do my child differently. And I'm going to give my child everything that I didn't have, which ends up screwing up the child's nature. And there's nobody with an actual philosophy or a moral compass or code of ethics where they're all in the community rolling on the same philosophy that can reinforce what the parents teach. Everybody on their own thing now, and nobody knows what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's one of the biggest reasons why we.
Speaking of that, y'all, that's a great point, as you said, and it had me to think about what's the name of Esther Roll from Good Times. I was thinking about how she was saying that, especially because back then, I think that back then it was like one of the first shows was the first black families, and then they actually was in Chicago, recording. So like she was always concerned with the black image of the black family. So she cared more about that versus women nowadays. They just care about them getting paid, so they don't care about how this make black women look. They're just looking out for themselves. So that's one thing that I think about a lot. Back then, they was more concerned about the image of black people. Period. So, but nowadays, it's not like that. So that's why you see women like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, and yes, and then all that stuff. They make black women look bad, and then Love and Hip Hop. So all this stuff made a bad impression on America, and also everything is about just them just getting money. They don't care about the image of black women and how they look. Well, but all right, y'all. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, God wants you healthy and fit. The devil wants you to procrastinate and put it off and make excuses and talk about how you got so much going on. And yeah, y'all. So this is meant to save you. Let me go close this up. This is my premium edition of my De-Inflammatory. This is the Anti-Inflammatory Fitness Bible for Women. So this is my premium edition. This has the 80 number page. Excuse me, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me. Yeah, so this has the finer paper. This has the premium black and white. This is meant to help the women to finally be able to change their bad behavior habits, get rid of their belly fat, build up their glutes, be the woman that you knew and you know that you can be. So with this book, it's designed to help women and show them how they can have it all. They can have it all. Maybe not at once, but just they still can have it all. So this is the first time in history that the Bible was written for a woman by a man, but with the woman in mind. So you can click the screen to order your copy from my website. And I love you all. And remember, God wants you healthy and fit, and the devil wants you to procrastinate and put it off and make excuses and just go out to eat and have fun and live like a kid and do what you want to do while your health is suffering. You keep getting bigger. And this is one thing that I tell the women all the time is since you all know that men are visual, if you all was hot enough, men would deal with more of y'all bullshit. It's like if a woman is super smoking hot, men would take more of her shit, more of her bullshit though. I mean, that's just how it is. So just when a woman is hotter, life is easier. Life is easier. And men, have you all ever noticed that the more smaller the woman is, the bigger ring that she get? Just think about that. So, all right, y'all. I hope you all enjoy the show. See you all next time.